Part 3, the third and final part of our loose leash walking mini series. How has it been going for you? Let me know in the comments below. Also consider subscribing and hitting that bell so that you can hear when more videos just like this one come out. While this may be the last video in the series, it is not the end of your loose leash walking training. You'll need to continually make it worthwhile for your dog to want to walk on a loose leash. But with all the training we have done, that should not be too difficult. If you haven't already watched the first 2 videos in this mini series, then I highly suggest you do, because this video builds off of those videos. So I'll have links in the description as well as up here to them. Okay, today is all about distractions. Now, distractions vary from dog to dog. It could be bicycles, kids, other dogs, people. Even some dogs might be scared of like plastic bags and butterflies. And that's okay. First things first, I want you to dedicate a page in your training journal to a list of distractions for your dog. And then write down on a scale of 1 to 5 how distracting that is for your dog. A 1 being not too much and 5 being through the roof. Once you do that, we can begin training. I'll give you a few examples for my dog Elmer. I'll do a short list just to give you an idea. I'd say he's distracted by cats, which would probably be a 3 or 4 on the scale depending on the day and the time we're training, which is very important, but just give a general answer. Other dogs, and depending on what those dogs are doing, I'd say again 3 or 4. The outdoors, almost all dogs to some degree, but for Elmer I'd say it's probably 2 most days. And the last example I'll give you is people, and that is a 4 or a 5. So that one's the most distracting for Elmer. So that one will be the hardest, but we will definitely get there. I would definitely focus more on the things that your dog see more because, well, they'll be around more often because you see them. But out of those, to start with, you definitely want to start with the least distracting for your dog. Alright, to start your training, you're going to want to give your dog a minute to understand where he is if you're in a new environment. And if you're just adding in a distraction like a person, give him a minute to look at them. Don't let him go all crazy. But if you can, from a distance, let him recognize that they're there and understand that they are. This will help your training go on faster so that your dog's not frustrated. I highly suggest you give your dog a light exercise session before this training because they will have a harder time if you don't. So just do a light exercise to get their pent up energy out. To start your training, you want to get your dog's attention on you. So play a quick game of tug of war and then we'll start. By the way, your dog doesn't know or doesn't love to tug, check out this video right here, and I'll put a link in the description as well, and you can see my video on that. The reason we play tug is to connect with our dogs. The more connected we are to our dogs, the easier handling distractions will be. You're basically gonna start over with your loose leash walking in this distracting environment. Don't worry, you won't have to do this forever, but for the initial stages of adding in distractions, we'll want to do this. It'll definitely go faster the more you practice around distractions. Build it back up just as I showed you in video 2 and keep practicing until your dog's comfortable with it. Now, just because your dog at the end of the session was okay with the distraction does not mean that every time he sees that, he won't be distracted by it. You will need to keep training and playing with your dog in those distracting environments for him to understand. Once your dog succeeds with that first distraction, move on to another distraction. And then follow these same steps. Now, what happens if you cannot get your dog's attention back on you? First step, take a deep breath. 2, acknowledge that you probably went a little too fast. 3, do the collar grab game and make sure to give him cookies and bring your dog back to you. Then I would do a couple hand targets to get my dog's attention back on me and give him one more shot. If it doesn't go so well, then do the collar grab again and do a few hand targets and end the session while he's still paying attention to you. That's key. This is by far the hardest part of the loose leash walking series, but the most important. So be patient with your dog and yourself. Give yourself some grace. Also, make sure to keep great training notes so you can better your training. And that is it for this video. Have a wonderful day, guys, and I hope to see you in the next video.